It is time to introduce another character in this story. I don't really want to talk about this, but it's a part of the story. And that is the big hunting dog that my next door neighbor had my entire childhood. All I remember about this dog was that it was part African hunting dog, whatever that is. So is it Rhodesian? She didn't look like a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And I know that those dogs are African. But Athena was her name. And there used to be two, but the other one passed away. So Athena was a very mean dog. Athena used to come up to the nose, used to put her nose up to holes in the fence. And she used to like come and run up to the fence and throw all her weight against it. Very vicious, mean dog. And there used to be a doggy door, right? So the dog could come run in and out of the house. But that dog, I don't know, I want to say terrorized the neighborhood, but it lived next door to us, so it didn't have that much power. And you'll see where I'm going again. You'll see why I even mention Athena, but put a pin in that for now. So around the same time that we got Tiny, that Tiny became a member of our family. Just want to see what I'm doing. Okay, anyway. There were two other neighborhood cats that looked just like Tiny. One of them was like a carbon copy, and then the other one was like kind of chubbier. And so we used to joke that these were Tiny's like siblings. But Tiny was my cat, and I had no idea where these other two cats came from. And they'd come into our yard every once in a while. Because our yard was more active in terms of, we're three boys. Okay, we're always running in and out of the backyard. My dad had a workshop. His wood workshop was in the garage where he made the cabinets. So our yard wasn't a very popular one for the feral cats to hang out in. For whatever reason, they used to hang out a lot in my neighbor's backyard. And Athena was a cat hunter. So one day, my dad got a call from the neighbor saying that Athena had killed a cat, that it looked a lot like my cat. And I remember when my dad told me this, I was looking out the window at Tiny, at my cat, and I said, no, there's no way. Tiny's right there. He's smarter than that. And I'm just going to make this note, before anybody starts to judge me or starts to say, oh, you shouldn't have had the cat outdoors, and nobody should have cats outdoors. So let me get this straight. So it was better for the cat to remain on the street than for it to be an indoor-outdoor cat that was getting fed on a regular basis, that got fixed, that got veterinary care and attention. Because as I mentioned previously in this story, indoors was not an option. My dad was deathly allergic. And if it had been my choice, if little 9-year-old me had a say in the matter, the cat would have been an indoor cat. And actually, I did try that, and that's how I found out that my dad was deathly allergic. So, hey, what's going on? Okay. Speaking of cats. So, anyway, I remember that we started to talk about how we could contain Tiny in our backyard. Because, hello, there's a dog next door that's known for killing cats. And we talked about, there was like this wire system that you could put on your on your fences, and my parents like considered it, and like maybe even we're gonna split the cost with the neighbor, but they're ugly. My dad is very like it's his way or the highway, and he's not the most, never been the most intelligent person, but he is really stubborn. So that, like that was a that was a non-factor. And then I tried at putting a harness on Tiny and like kind of having him on a leash. Yeah, that didn't work either. Like very quickly realized that wasn't gonna work. One day we were out in the backyard and Tiny was walking up on the fence, and Athena jumped up, grabbed Tiny. This all happened so quickly that I remember my dad, who's now he's not, I'm taller than he is, but he's tall, like I take after him in my body shape. And I just remember he jumped up on the fence, he reached into Athena's mouth and gripped my cat out of her mouth. And I remember he had these insane scratches, very deep scratches from Tiny holding on for dear life to his arm as he reached into her arms to reap the cat out of her jaws. And he was all wet from her saliva. And in retrospect, I really don't know why that wasn't kind of the turning point. I genuinely don't know why my parents and my neighbor did not have a serious conversation about keeping that stupid dog inside of the house, because the cat, my dad's arm is one thing, but what the hell if that stupid dog had attacked one of us, right? And we were notorious little brats, so sticking our noses nosy in the fence and everything. But if that stupid dog had bitten one of us, it would have been really bad. I don't know what would have happened, but yeah, I'll never ever forget that. That was insane. It happened so quickly. I witnessed it with my own very eyes. So you'll see in the next part where this goes.